So, let me see if I can do this here. It's not going to do it. I'm not going to get it both ways. Okay. I may just have to. I don't even know what to on here. I guess I'm looking at it differently. Okay. Um. Okay. So. Okay. There we go. Okay. Anyway, thought I had it all together and still trying to figure this thing out. Um. Yeah. So anyway, I'm looking really. I don't know what it is. I just don't like the way I'm looking. I'm showing up on Facebook Live and my YouTube channel. I guess I'm okay. This is just gonna have to work. I guess. I don't know if it's the light. Maybe it's the light. I'm coming in too bright. Okay. Maybe that's better. I don't know. It's gonna have to just do. Seriously, it's gonna have to just do because where is the camera at on here? Okay. Please excuse me. I'm looking great over here at Facebook Live. It's my YouTube channel that I'm looking kind of jacked up and I can't get it together. Okay. So, all right. I don't know. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. So anyway, so far it doesn't look like anybody is joining me, but I'm going to just start talking and hopefully my tribe will start um in. Okay. So anyway, so how are you ladies doing? I like I said, I know it's been a while since the last time I did a self-care Saturday. Forgive me if my eyes are going everywhere because I have my Facebook group live here and then I have my YouTube channel live here. So I'm trying to figure out where in the blue blazes is the camera. Okay, I think I got the camera okay here. So okay, it's gonna work out because I'm not doing this over again. Anyway, so yeah, let me see if I can move this just a little bit. There we go. Okay, that's better. Hey, okay. And I'm not gonna turn my ring light up because I'm getting way too much light from there. Okay. Anyway, so if I'm fine here, if I could just get good on my YouTube channel, I will be good to go. Okay, so I'm like if I could film this way, I would be perfect. Um, if I could film that way, I would be absolutely perfect. Okay, that's not what I want to do. Please be patient with me, and I'm so glad no one's watching right now. You guys are giving me, you ladies are giving me time to get it together. Okay. And it's telling me to rotate the device. I don't want to rotate the device because I actually like how I look right here. But I'm going to go ahead and do it because last time I did not rotate the device. I had to end up actually deleting my video because it was really horrible how it came up. And I'm like, my arm is already getting tired by holding this. But, ooh, okay. All right. Well, whew, I can't tell you how happy I am going to be next year when I get all of my equipment on point. And I won't have to use my cell phone or my Samsung Tab E. I mean, it's serving its purpose. Don't get me wrong. I'm very thankful that I at least have something to use. But oh my gosh, I cannot wait. Hey Tina, how are you doing? I certainly cannot wait until I get my equipment next year because I'm telling you, I will not be dealing with this foolishness that have been dealing with. It's not going to happen anymore. Anyway, so I was wondering, like, oh my YouTube channel. Okay, let's pray that my YouTube channel will stay up. Okay, because like I said, I don't want to have to do this again. Anyway, so for the past about month or two now, I've been wanting to discuss. I know we're getting to the end of the year. Actually, you know, this month is the last month of the year, and a funny thing happened. So I had to reschedule a doctor's appointment. I think that I had actually had last month. Now here I am thinking, okay, it's November, and I have been in a doctor a few times. Nothing minor, just sinus infection or whatever earlier this year. And so I thought that I had already had my annual exam already. So when I had to reschedule my appointment last month, come to find out, I had not been in for my annual exam. And I was like, how is that even possible? Like, I know I've had at least two appointments this year. And neither one of them were for my annual appointment. So, make a long story short, I have scheduled that appointment and it's in a couple of weeks, I believe on the 21st, if I'm not mistaken. So I said all that to say, for those of you who have not met your yearly deductible, kind of want to give you a friendly reminder to go ahead and schedule your yearly exam so that you can go ahead and get that out the way, so you won't have to possibly pay for it. I know for me on my job, um, annual appointments are free. So it's just that you got to make sure that the people at your doctor's office code it right so that it could be coded. I don't know about you, but when it comes to annual exams, I try to get every test in the book, all types of blood tests, every kind of test that they could run. I try to get that taken care of during my annual so that it could be coded under my annual so that I won't have to pay for it during the rest of the year. So I don't know if any of you do that, but that's a nice little tidbit for you that, just make sure when you go in for your annual exam that you get everything done. If your insurance is anything like mine, that, your annual exam is free. And just make sure, like I said, that they code it. So just make sure, that the nurse at your doctor's office or whoever does that, just let them know to just code it under all your tests and everything. Just kind of lump it all together and just make sure it's under your annual. That way you'll get your deductible. And also that way you won't have to pay for it. So I know at the beginning of the year, January is usually when I get my mammogram. So I already have my mammogram this year. So today we're going to talk about, and hopefully, I'm hoping that everyone has been on top of your health and, gone to the optometrist for your eyes, dentist for your teeth, your mouth, and also have gotten an opportunity to get your annual exam in. If not, it's not too late. We still have several weeks left in this year, so you can go ahead and get that taken care of and get it done. So, like I said, you don't have to pay for it at the beginning of next year because you haven't met your deductible or premium for the year. Anyway, so would like to talk to you about that. So, as I was saying, so my son had an appointment today at church, and I didn't feel like leaving or coming back home. So I kind of hung around church. And the way my church is set up, it's pretty much a hangout spot anyway. It's so huge and so big. It's like a mall that you could just literally come to my church and just hang out. We have a cafe. We got everything going on. So that's the awesome thing about my church is that you can just come and hang out. And so I was in the cafe, and in the little cafe, they have like a little lounge area where it's so beautifully set up. It's like a Christmas tree, and then like a little area set up like a fireplace, and I mean it's just so warm and cozy. It's just so beautiful the way it's set up. So my plan was to film Self Care Saturday there because I just love how the church is decorated for Christmas season. We have huge trees, like 20-foot or more trees up, and we got them all over the church. I probably should have filmed it just so you could see, but I'll probably do it next time. Anyway, so so I'm sitting chilling, just minding my own business. Wanted to really film there, but I couldn't because I had an audience. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do it right now. I'm not gonna do it right now. I'm just gonna wait. And I was like, man, really wanted to film it. They sit down talking, and so I'm over. I can't help but hear because they're right in front of me, and they just kind of sat right there, which I really didn't mind, especially after listening to what they were saying. I was like, oh, okay. So anyway, they sat down, started talking, and so one of the older ladies was talking about. and she's really beautiful, well kept, beautiful. When I say older ladies, I'm talking about older and like wisdom. And I know they had to be probably old enough to be my mother, but they didn't look like it. I could just tell because of the gray hairs and the wisdom, but very well kept. And so they just one was talking in particular, and she was kind of giving her testimony about how she had been healed of cancer. And she was saying that um it was a doctor's appointment that she had went to. Like she was, how did she say it, because I don't want to get the story wrong. So she happened, and I don't want to be graphic either, so she happened to be like using the bathroom one day and kind of noticed like a little pimple or a bump on her bottom side. And so she said she couldn't see it, so she scheduled an appointment to get it checked out. Well, come to find out, they checked that out, and I think it was like a minor infection or something, but that wasn't anything. And so she said, in the midst of them checking that out, they noticed two moles, a couple of moles on one of her thighs. And so they said, this right here, a little pimple on your bottom side is fine. These moles is what really we need to check out. And so, make a long story short, she said that they had checked it out, and come to find out, one of them was cancerous. And so they were able to catch it early enough, and actually they got that one all out. And I mean, I'm just sitting here in amaze, because she said from start to finish how literally it was just divine, how God had literally ordered her steps. Because she said that had she not had that pimple, had she not scheduled an appointment to just have that checked out, that the cancer in her leg or thigh would have never been discovered. So early detection really does save lives. And so she said that from that they got that out, but then there was another one that they have found as well. And so um they right away, she was in a hospital where it just so happened to be a Christian hospital. I'm not saying that you have to be in a Christian hospital, because me being a believer is like, what, that's just an added bonus. If everybody on the same page and we believe in the same thing, hey, I'm serious. That's an added bonus for me. So, but anyway, so now this is she telling me, she kind of rewind after I was listening to her describe um the lifestyle changes that she had made in the midst of being told of that diagnosis, and just really instructions that she said that she believed God had just given her. So she said that she had went to the doctor, and the whole time she just never really wavered in her faith. She just knew, because she had gotten, God had just dropped this scripture on her heart like weeks ago, and she really couldn't understand why she had gotten that scripture, and it was pertaining to like healing. I forgot what she said the scripture was, but it talks about how your healing comes forth speedily, and I can't really remember that scripture. She was, like I said, I was kind of not eavesdropping. Can't eavesdrop when people right in front of you talking. Just can't help but hear what they're saying. Anyway, so she was just saying that everybody was on board. She was talking to the doctors, and when she and the other lady had sat down, they were kind of talking about, well, she was talking about how she had changed her diet, how she had gotten off sweets, gotten off carbs, gotten off processed foods. And she said, you know, she believes that her just a little tweak, or it may have been a major tweak, I don't know, depending on where she was at that point as far as eating those foods that she stopped eating. But she was like, just, that. And she was like, to this day, she doesn't eat sweet. She doesn't drink caffeine. She only eat plant-based foods. And so she was just saying how that made a drastic difference in and just the healing process for her. And so, and I've heard this before. I've read about it. I've researched it. Believe me, as much as I know about nutrition and food, I'm telling you, I'll 1 day Daniel's fast in a little bit, I must admit. And so, I felt led to take it a little bit extreme. So with the 21-day Daniel's fast, you pretty much are down to like what, nuts and fruit and vegetables, I believe. I don't even think you eat meat during Daniel's fast. At least I didn't. So we were kind of pretty much on a pretty strict for those who could participate. We were pretty much on a pretty strict um, Daniel's fast. So I took it up a notch because we could have certain carbs like brown rice and certain. I think brown rice may have been the only thing that we could probably have, probably yams or something like that. But a lot of most of the carbs were eliminated out of our diet, and so I took it up a notch. Of course, I had to be extra, and I eliminated all carbs. So no sweets, all carbs. I pretty much went vegan for 21 days. Now, up until that point, before I went completely cold turkey, I was so addicted to sweets that I was literally eating sweets like you could have just hooked me up to a tube and just been pumping sweets into my body. That's how addicted to sweets I was. And so I just went completely cold turkey. I went from eating sweets like around the clock to just nothing at all. On top of eliminating carbs and meat and dairy and all of that completely out of my diet. I mean, I did that in like one day. And so I paid for it though. I've learned a real big lesson in all of that uh, is to never go cold turkey. Like you gotta wean yourself off of that because I literally thought I was dying. Like my first week, oh my goodness, it was like I just felt like I don't know. I felt horrible. I mean, horrible is not even a word. I felt worse than horrible. I was so miserable. I was so cranky. And I was just a hot mess. Anyway, so the first week, after the first 2 weeks, I kind of was like, I survived the first 2 weeks. Going into my third week, I was pretty okay. Now, I don't know why churches want to. I understand, it's the first year, the first month of the year, but my birthday is in January. So usually, whenever I'm on a Daniel's fast, it always starts. I mean, like it don't ever start like on January 1st and give me 21 days. It always starts like enough of time to where I usually run into the Daniel's fast on my birthday, or I'm just one day from coming off of it or something. I don't know why that always happens that way, but for me, it has always happened that way. So here I am coming up on my birthday, and birthday cake, something sweet, something. And worst mistake I ever made, I ate something sweet and thought that I could resist the temptation. Thought that I was strong enough at that point to just have a little bit of sweet and then not eat it again. Nope, didn't happen for me. I don't know what it is I had. I think I had a piece of cake or something. I don't know what it was I had. But whatever it was I had a relapse. And so I started eating sweets again. So my Achilles heel is sweets. It's like, Lord, if you could just help me and deliver me from sweets, I would be good to go. I'll probably be this thin if I just get off of sweets. Because for the most part, I'm a pretty good healthy eater. I don't eat a whole lot of junk food. I don't really eat a whole lot of fast food. Now I know when I'm really, really busy, like a couple of months ago, I was really hitting the fast food like literally every day. And that's only because I don't have time to cook. And when I get home from work, I'm not cooking. I'm just not gonna do it. um, when my children were younger, I was like Betty Crocker. And now that they're older and more self sufficient, I only go into the kitchen unless I absolutely have to or want to, which is not very often for me, to be perfectly honest. So as a result, my eating is not as clean as it could be or should be. Rewind, fast forwarding to today's conversation. So I must admit, I felt a little bit convicted when the lady sat down and started talking about how she had come off sweets, how she had, pretty much transitioned into a plant-based diet because pretty much that's what I had done at the first of the year. And I've completely cleaned up my eating. Now, for me, I didn't get good results when I did all that. And it really wasn't doing it per se to, to release any weight. I was doing it because I just wanted to kick it up a notch with the Daniels fast, wanted to do something different that I've never done before. Because to me, it wasn't much of a challenge for me. And so, and on top of that, I started intermittent fasting too. So here I am, completely off sweets, completely off carbs, completely off meat. And then, as if that was not enough for me, I was intermittent fasting. So now with the intermittent fasting, I heard about it, researched it, everything, and I just kind of wanted to try it out to see how it would work for me. Did not have a good experience the first time around because my body was in so much shock that it was holding on to every last pound and calorie that I ate. I could literally pass a piece of cake and not even put it in my mouth and eat it, and boom, I felt like my body would just blow up. That's just how stressed out it was. And for me, I don't know about you, but I'm the kind of person that I gain weight when I'm stressed. That's why I have to manage. For those of you who didn't catch me on check-in Wednesday, we're talking about stress management. That's why I've had to learn how to manage my stress because it has affected me in so many areas of my life, not just health wise, but in so many other ways. So that's why it's important for us to, I don't know if, like I said, some of you may be stress eaters. I don't really have to stress eat per se. My body just holds on to everything and then some when I'm under stress. So that's why, like I said, I've had to learn how to manage my stress. And yes, I am not at my God given size yet, but I am getting there. And thankfully, since I've been drinking the Slim Waist drink mix that I've been drinking for the past several months now, I have shrunk. And I'm not even going to say that I've been working out. I can't even say that I've been eating right. I don't know what it is about the cayenne pepper, the turmeric, and the ginger and the lemon juice or lemons, the combination of all those things, but it does something to your metabolism. It just shrinks your inches because, like I said, my waistline has shrunk. I've gotten, um, my thighs have shrunk, my legs have shrunk. I've just gotten a lot of inches off of me just by doing that. So, but anyway, so want to talk to you about, like I said, scheduling your doctor's appointments, try to get that in before the year's out, and just the importance of doing it. So anyway, the lady was telling me how, you know, um, a lot of people, just kind of put off, and I think it's more or less with men than it is ladies. I like to think that us as ladies, we're more on top of our, health, that we're more health conscious than men. I believe most men, you have to kind of hit them upside with you got to knock them out with a bat or something and get them to the doctor. But for the most part, I could be wrong, but most of us, most ladies in general are pretty good about, keeping up with their health as far as making sure you go to your doctor's appointments. Now, I want to make an observation now, and that may be difficult for single mothers because, like I said, our schedules are pretty packed and full, but that's no excuse. I just want to let you know that, and I have been advocating this since I've started, that it's very important for us to take care of ourselves. And one of the ways that we take care of ourselves is making sure that we're going to our doctor's visits at least once a year, making sure. Okay, so I have Bobby tuning in to my YouTube channel. Hey, I think she's tuning in to my YouTube channel. I'm not sure. She just popped up on my screen. So, but anyway, oh my goodness, if this, okay, I think I got it now. I'm gonna have to hold it like this on my YouTube channel. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying, but yeah, so to remind you to get those appointments in. It's really important that you keep those annual appointments. If you don't go to the doctor, but at least once a year, and like I said, when you go for your annual, just make sure all the tests that they test, because usually you can just have them coded under an annual appointment and you won't be charged for that. And I'm saying all this because, like I said, when when Miss Teresa was talking, she was saying how a lot of times, especially when it comes to different diseases and whatever, that usually people keep, put it off and put it off and put it off. They have symptoms. They know something's not right with their body. They're feeling kind of off in some kind of way, but they just put it off and they put it off. And usually by the time, they get diagnosed, or by the time whatever's going on is found out, it's usually too late because they have been putting it off and putting it off for so long. So I just want to encourage you, that if you feel like something's kind of off with your body, you're feeling kind of off kilter, just, sometimes we may not know exactly, but when you're not, 100%, when you kind of have like, oh, something's not right with our body. Our bodies let us know when we need to head to the doctor. And um and I didn't used to all that I've been through, one thing I have learned is to put my own health, to gain control of my health. I believe you heard me say that when I was going through my bout with fibromyalgia and degenerative disorder and high blood pressure, and Lord, I have been through quite a lot concerning my health. I've been through an awful lot, and I have been, made to be a guinea pig in the past when doctors didn't know what was going on. They couldn't, you know, my body was mimicking so many different symptoms and different things. They didn't know what to do with me basically. So the best thing they did was just like, try this. We're going to prescribe this for you. Let's see how that works. And so after really just being miserable, after just being literally after months of just being completely out of it, really a year to be honest, of just being completely out of it, I just really start taking my health care, my health into my own hands, because I realized that some of these doctors out here, they are practicing doctors. They are practicing medicine. They have not mastered it yet. And so I just think that during that time I was just started praying like, Lord, please connect me with a doctor who has some wisdom and know what they're doing, because I don't have time for people to be playing guess who or guess what with my life. So anyway, so thankfully my physician that I've had, she's such a sweetheart. I've had her for I've had her for a little bit now, a long time now. And she's just, I mean, we are on like the same page. She knows me. And I think, like I said, when I first met her, I was just like, oh, because I came to her when at a point when I was just frustrated. Like I said, I was like the woman with the issue of blood. I had went from doctor to doctor to doctor, and couldn't nobody tell me what was wrong with me. Folks kept putting me on medication and trying to figure out and say, try this and let's see what it work if it works or whatever. And I was just at a point of just complete and utter frustration with the doctors. And so like I said, I just began to pray and just ask God to just, give me wisdom, and not just give me wisdom, but to, connect me with a physician, with a doctor who could see me as a patient, as a person, and not as another, insurance claim or something. And like I said, she sits down and she talks, and she takes the time to get to know her patients. She gets to, she gets time. She takes the time to get to know your family history. And you know how, I don't know if you ever had this experience, but you know how doctors can kind of just, I mean, like, it takes you an hour for them to come into the room, and then they're only in there for 2 seconds and then they're gone again. You're like, okay, so what just happened? But she actually comes in, sits down, asks how I'm doing, how all the kids doing, how the family doing. She really takes that time to get to just to see about me, and then to know how I'm feeling. What do I think about this? And she knows how I am anyway. She knows usually when I come to her, I've already been online. I've already done my research. So when, the very few times I've had to come to her, I've already come to her like, okay, so I was reading online about, and so I had already been online. I had already researched the symptoms, signs, and all of that, and what, medication or what would help with that. And my doctor knows that because of my past experience with medication, putting me on medication is like the absolute last resort. I would rather go the holistic route and she knows that about me. So she knows not to, prescribe me any type of drugs or anything like that. And she just wants to, she takes the time out to see where I'm at. Like, okay, so what are your thoughts about it? Do you want to try this? And she knows that when she comes to me, she has to give me some facts. So just saying, you know what, I'm going to prescribe this for you, blah, 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 that does not work with me. You got to let me know what you're prescribing, why you're prescribing it, what are the side effects, all of that. I know I might be, a high maintenance patient, but I'm telling you, and nowadays you have to be that way, because if you don't take your health into your own hands, you can't expect for these doctors to do it. You know how many patients they have to think about and to treat and to care for. So for me, this is work for me. And like I said, my doctor and I, we see like this. We see just like this. We on the same page. And it has worked for me. It has really worked for me. And so I'm just so grateful and so thankful that after all these years of testing and trying, that I finally have a doctor who gets me, who understands me, and I really believe she genuinely cares for me. And so if you don't have a doctor like that, I pray that you get one, because I'm telling you, it makes a world of a difference when you actually get a doctor or physician that, one, cares about you, and two, actually know what they're doing. Okay. So yeah, so basically, like I said, that's all I pretty much wanted to just talk to you about today, is to just, remind you, kind of put a little fire under your tails, that if you have not gotten your appointments in this year, if you have not had your mammogram, and as women, I think women 40 and over, it's good for us to get it once a year after we turn 40. So this, I've already had two mammograms so far, and so I plan to get another one in January. Like I said, usually in January is when I get my yearly mammogram. And so just make sure that you're on top of those things. Like I said, and as I was listening to the ladies talk earlier today, one of the things that she just kept reiterating is just early detection. Not saying, not claiming anybody has cancer or anything like that, but she was able, you know, to things worked out for her because she went in early. Had she waited, don't know, it may have been a different story. But because she listened to her body, and because she listened really to the voice of God to tell her to get into that doctor's office, schedule an appointment, that they were able to catch it, and that God just really had people lined up to just care for her and treat her. And it seems like from what she said, everybody was on the same page. And I just know it makes so much of a difference when you have physicians that are on the same page. I know not everybody can get, if you are a believer, not everybody can get, a believing physician, but I'm like, I just think that it would be a world, it would make such a world of a difference if, you know, you didn't have to explain what you believe, why you believe in, and have to go back and forth with the physician because they don't believe in God, or they don't believe in the healing power of God, or whatever it is that they don't believe in. It's like just going back and forth like that is just, I know it could be exhausting. So it's just better to get on page with, if you could help it. And I believe you can, because, we can pick and choose who our physicians are. We have that power, and if somebody's not working, find somebody else. And you keep on until you get that person that um, gets you, that it's for you. Okay. So I just would like to know, I'm curious of how many of you have gotten in your appointments this year, by show of hands or waves or whatever. If you've gotten in your mammogram for the year, you've gotten in your annual for the year, you've gone and seen an optometrist for your eyes, and have gone to, I've been talking to her for a while. Hopefully, like I said, um, I have strongly encouraged you, if you haven't already done so, to get your physical exams in before the end of this year. And also to just, like I said, to be more proactive in the area of your health that, and like I said, I had to learn the hard way. For years, I just believed everything the doctor said, and I didn't do my due diligence. I didn't listen to my body. I didn't do the research. I just left it all up to the doctors. And for me, now I'm not negatively talking about doctors, but I'm just saying that it's your body, and who can better take care of your body than you? And we can't leave that up for someone else to figure out or to do. So we have to be proactive about what's going on in our body. We have to, listen to the cues that our bodies gives us, because our body will let us know when things are off kilter. Not to ignore those things. Now, we don't need to be in fear. We don't need to be in dread, but I think that we need to be responsible. Okay, especially as single mothers, because our children, because of our children, they need us to be healthy. Our children need us to be at our optimum health. And if we're not going to the doctor like we should, if we're not listening to our bodies as we should, if we're not doing those things that promotes good health and optimum health, then we don't want to put ourselves or our children in a position to where they're not experiencing the best version of who we are. We shouldn't have our children experiencing or seeing the sick version of us, especially if we would could have did something to prevent it. We, like I said, and I believe I can speak on this and talk about this the way I'm talking about it so passionately, and even really so, um, you know, assertively. It's because I've gone through it. I know what it feels like to be ill, to be sick, to be on your deathbed, to be literally fighting for your life, and I know what it feels like, you know, um, like I said, when you have to fight for your life. But I know what it feels like to be healthy, to be strong. I know what it feels like to take my health into my hands and to be more proactive and not leave that up to someone else to do. So I'm telling you, based upon my own experiences, that, as I look around, as I think back, the past several years for me has been the most healthiest years of my life, because I went through a long, long period of just not being healthy, in and out the hospital, on and off medication, just in the bed, fighting for my life, on my sick bed, on my deathbed. I've been through all of that. And I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful for the healing power of God just raising me up. But also, it required for me to be more responsible. And I know I have to do better. And I promise myself that I'm going to do better. That I'm looking to 2019 being healthier. And like I said, I know everything that I need to do. Is just a matter of just being disciplined to do it. And so I just believe that, all that God has in store for me, and I even believe all that God has in store for you, is going to require us to be at our optimum health. It's going to require for us to be healthy and strong. And so it starts now. It starts with, a determination to do better, to take your health into your hands, and to love yourself, because it's a part of self-love when you're taking care of yourself. And so I have some things that are be coming up in the beginning of the year, and you're more than welcome to join me on my journey, because I'm just believing that 2019 is going to be our best year ever. Okay, but we're going to have to be healthy to stick around and experience, to start thinking about things that you can do to be a healthier you. I know for me, I gotta get off these sweets again. I do. I just know it. And like I said, I felt so convicted when the lady was just like, you know what? I'm not even on sweets. I mean, it was like right there in my face, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like, okay, I know. Yeah. So that was just God's way of indirectly talking to me about getting myself together. Right. So that was my little okay warning. That was my little wake up call. And I received it. I receive it. I receive it. I know I have to do better. But like I said, next year I really I'm trying to get all the sweets out my system now. I'm not even gonna sit up here and lie to myself or anybody else and saying, you know what, it would be a disservice to me. It would be setting myself up for failure for me to try to get off sweets now. And we got Christmas around the corner because I know I'm gonna eat some peach cobbler. I know I'm about to eat some cookies and also I'm gonna get all this out my system now. Go ahead and enjoy my Christmas, and then we're gonna start afresh in the new year, and we're going to do better. We're going to be proactive. We're going to be healthier and stronger. We're going to love ourselves more because we are taking care of ourselves. All right. So I thank you so much for tuning in to Self Care Saturday. And like I said, don't forget to get those appointments in before the end of this year so that you won't have to pay for it. Okay. All righty then. Well, I will be coming back at you tomorrow for Jumpstart Your Week Sunday. And I'm so excited because I'll be speaking on part 2 of how to create a God given vision board and make 2019 your best year ever. So, you know what? 2019 is all about vision, having it, walking in it. 2019 is all about being the best year ever. 2019 is all about God doing a new thing. And like I said before, if you want a new thing, you got to get rid of the old. So we are purging and cleansing ourselves this month. We're getting rid of all those things that can hinder us and keep us from receiving all the great and awesome and wonderful things that God has in store for us in 2019. All right. So I hope you have an awesome, wonderful rest of the evening. Don't forget, if you haven't done something to invest in yourself today, Bobby says that every time she sees me, I remind her to wash her hair. Hey, look, if washing your hair, if you get refreshed, if you feel revived and renewed by washing your hair, by all means, wash your hair. If you got to give yourself a facial, a manicure, or whatever you got to do to get to reset, whatever you have to do to decompress and to relax. Hey, do it if it's good. I'm not co-signing for anybody doing anything that's bad. But by all means, like I said, if you haven't done anything to make yourself feel good today, to invest in yourself, facial, wash your hair, exercise, I don't know, whatever makes you feel good and just relaxes you, watch a movie. Yeah, something. I don't know. Whatever you do to relax yourself, whatever you do to decompress and relax, go ahead and get that in before the day is out, okay? All right. Well, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on Jumpstart Your Week Saturday. You come on with a mind ready to learn more about how to create a God given vision board. All right. Well, I leave you tonight with love, peace, and blessings. Have an awesome night, and I will catch you tomorrow. All right. Bye bye.